Hi there, Hafsa. My name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting this for you today. Let's take a look. You decided to send us a task 1, school subjects in Germany. This one is tricky, not because it's complicated, but just the opposite, because it's actually very, very simple. And so a lot of students struggle with how to make connections and how to get an answer that's at least 150 words. So let's see what you did with this. The pie chart shows 8 different school subjects that students prefer in Germany in the year 2018. It's actually preferred because it's in the past tense. It's 2018, so not present tense here. But here it's fine because the pie chart does show it in general. Okay, so the students in Germany preferred maths over other subjects at 22.6% of the total, followed by history at 21.8%. The next preference was biology, a science subject, with a difference of 1% at about 20.8. Young children also showed interest in physical education at 19.3, which holds the 4th highest preferred subject in Germany. But with respect to geography and physics, there was least interest shown at 8.3 and 1% respectively. The least subjects that students preferred were chemistry and IT, which relatively held the same proportion at 1% of the whole. Okay, let's take a look here. Geography and physics is what I want to check out. 5.3, yeah, but what did you write here? You wrote 1%, so that's a mistake right there. Okay, be careful with your accuracy. Overall, the 4 subjects, okay, all together make up more than 3/4 of the total. The other 2 science subjects were the least preferred when compared to biology, which is close to 1/4. The 2 subjects of social studies had a difference of 13%. Okay, with geography being the least favorite among the 2 subjects. Okay, so here's the good news. Your grammar is really, really good. There were no errors. I mean, maybe there was like 1 error, but that's it. So your accuracy is very high, and that was great. Your vocabulary was fine. I didn't really see anything higher level. Okay. Of course, task 1 doesn't really help us kind of show or produce any higher level vocabulary, but if you can, sometimes it's definitely in your benefit. Even just like 1 or 2 kind of more higher level things will really make all the difference. Let's see. The thing that I wanted to see here is different organization and a different overview. So let's talk about the organization. There's not just one way to do a task 1. There are many, many, many ways. But, as examiners, the first thing we do when we begin to correct a task 1 is we look at it ourselves, we study it, and we see, what's the right way to do this, or what's the best way to do this. Okay, not the right way, because there is no right way, but the best way, the one that really kind of lends itself to good organization and good development. In my opinion, it would probably be a paragraph focusing on these 4, okay? And then a separate paragraph focusing on these 4, okay? And then also making some relevant connections. Okay, now what did you do? You kind of threw everything all together in 1 paragraph. So that didn't really help your organization. Now, paragraphing isn't extremely important in task 1, but for sure, better answers will show appropriate paragraphing. Okay, so when you're getting into those really high band scores, there will be better paragraphing. And the other thing that I really want to talk to you about here was your overview. This isn't. You know what? This kind of is an overview, but then it stops being an overview when you get into so much detail. Okay, so really what is an overview? An overview is the biggest trend, the most obvious thing, the thing that really kind of sticks out as the most important thing or the most obvious thing. So I think here it would be there are a couple good ways to do this. One good way to do it would be to talk about maths was the most popular subject or was the most preferred subject, whereas chemistry and IT equally were the least. And that's it. You don't have to get into any more details. Okay. And that's really all. Did I say? Yeah, 5 actually. It was no, 4. So that's really all you have to do in your overview. Anything else is really just superfluous, and it stops being an overview because it's not giving us that main trend. Okay. Let's see. So that's probably what I would have put here in an overview. Okay. Or you could have said something else. You could have said something like, overall, there was a varied distribution of the preferences in school subjects in Germany, with maths being the most popular overall. Okay, so this way you don't have to talk about chemistry and IT specifically, but you can just say that there was, the distribution was kind of all over the place. Okay, so that's a couple ways you can do this. Now, some people like the overview at the end. Some people like it right after the introduction. Personally, I like it right after the introduction for a variety of reasons. But it doesn't affect your score at all. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you mentioned here young children. That was a piece of vocabulary that I wanted you to change. You don't know that they're young children. What does young children imply? It implies maybe like elementary school, but we don't have that information. They never tell us. It could just be, K through 12. We have no idea really here. Okay, so that comes off as being a little inaccurate. And there was also, of course, that inaccuracy here with your data, but that's more of a task achievement thing. Now, the last thing that I want to talk to you about in this correction is, again, related to task achievement, and it has to do with how mechanical your answer is. Now, I can't say this is really mechanical, but I think it could have showed some better comparisons and contrast and grouping perhaps. Okay, so what do we mean by mechanical? Mechanical is essentially when you look at the figures and you say, well, math was first, was 22.6%, and history came next with 21.8%. Following them was PE with 19.3%. Okay, so, or rather biology, sorry. So that's mechanical. I can't say that you did that completely. I wouldn't say that, of course not. But here, I mean, up to this point, it really was kind of like a little bit, okay? So you want to do something different here, all right? So you could, for example, say something like, let me give you an example here. Maths was the most popular, or most preferred rather. Maths was the most preferred subject at 22.6%. This was followed closely by just under 2% less by biology at 20.8%. Together, these two subjects made up, just under half of the school subject preferences in Germany. Okay? You could say that. Why not? All right, because it's 43%, so it's fairly accurate to say that they made up just under half. Okay, so that's the kind of thing you can do, and this is another way that you really kind of stretch out your answers. But not only that, it kind of emphasizes just how big the proportion of these two figures are if you say that they make up almost half together. Okay, so that makes it really interesting. Another thing you want to consider doing is, say, for example, when you talked about IT and chemistry, you could say that, not only are they the least, but together they are still only 1/10 of the highest subject or that most preferred subject. All right, so you want to make connections like that. That's a sign of really developing an answer, and you kind of have to do stuff like that because there's so little information to work with here. Okay, all right, so Hafsa, I think you did a really good job. I think you're definitely on the right track. You're really very fortunate because your grammar and your biology, biology, did I really just say that? Your grammar and your vocabulary were nice and accurate, but I would like to help you kind of take this to the next level and really kind of improve things like coherence and cohesion and task achievement. So you'll see in the email there are some ways to continue working with us. So take a look and see what you would like to do if you're interested in working with us further. I definitely look forward to it. Okay, so I hope to see more of your work soon. Good luck.